Hello, this is Steve Thoele, Principal Broker with Premier Property Group, and bringing you another weekly update on the Tigard Oregon real estate market. This update is going to cover the last 8 weeks of market activity, ending this past Sunday, September 25th. So I'm going to share my screen with you now and go through the info with you. So starting off with active listing activity. So last week in Tigard, I show we had 36 homes come on the market, down from 46 week prior, but you can kind of see, towards the upper end of the range over this past 8 weeks on a weekly basis. Ended the week with 187 homes in total on the market, just about the same as the week prior. But certainly it's been kind of on the rise here over this past month. So more inventory than where we started with. The median list price and days on market for the actives, you can kind of see where that's been. We started at 650. And I got up to 675 and ended the 8 weeks here at 650. So a pretty tight range actually between 650, 675. And days on market, you can kind of see that had kind of been trending up here to a high of 33 about 3 weeks back. Last couple of weeks that has been falling to 22 this last week, kind of as a function of, kind of a pretty good dose of new listings coming on the market here over the past 3 weeks. So that's keeping that number a little low, or lower, I should say. And moving along to pending sales. So this last week, I showed we had 29 homes go pending in Tigard. And you can kind of see that's been, fairly steady for the most part, outside of 1 week. It was a little low, but it's been kind of in the mid to high 20s for the most part on a weekly basis. Ended the week with 135 homes in pending status, rebounded a little bit from the low of 129 a couple weeks back, but certainly still lower than where we were to begin this look here of about 160 8 weeks back. And then the median price, days on market for those pendings, you can kind of see after kind of sitting right around 600,000 for the first 5 weeks here, last 3 weeks is kind of bumped up to 625. So we've been at 625 the last 3 weeks. And then days on market, that's been steadily rising. As you can kind of see, had a low of 11 8 weeks back, and it's climbed up to this last week, 24 days of average market time for the homes that are going pending. So, definitely things are taking longer to get under contract than, where we were here a few months back. And then lastly, we'll look at sold listing activity. So as of the time I put this info together, I show we had 23 homes go from pending to sold this last week in Tigard. It's down from the high of 31 here 2 weeks ago, but you can kind of see it's kind of well within the range in generally of kind of where it's been over this past 8 weeks on a weekly basis. And then when I look at the prior 4 weeks of closings here, a weekly look, this last week came in at 106 closings over the prior 4 weeks. And you kind of see that matches a slight low for the 8 week period here. But, pretty tight range, between 106 and, 119 8 weeks back. But, since then, it's been pretty steady in terms of the amount of closings in Tigard. And then the median sold price, days on market for those solds, in general, that's been coming down. As you can kind of see, we were close to 650 8 weeks back and has been kind of in decline over this past 8 weeks, bottomed out at 580 2 weeks back, rebounded a bit here this last week to 588 median price. And then days on market, again, that's been on the rise, roughly started off with a week of market time, and we're finishing with close to 2 weeks of market time for the properties that have sold. And then finally, we'll look at the weeks of inventory and the sale price as a percent of the original list price. So you can kind of see the red bars as weeks of inventory. Had a low of 5 weeks of inventory here about a month ago. It's been climbing for the last 3 weeks. This last week came in at just over 7 weeks of inventory based on current supply and demand in Tigard. And then the sale price as a percent of the list, you can kind of see that that's crested at just over about 100% of list price here about 5 weeks back. That has been kind of coming down over this past month. You can kind of see the last 2 weeks has been closer to about 98% of list price. So, as buyers are able to, a little better negotiating position than where they were here, a few months back for sure. And inventory, again, still under 2 months worth of inventory here in the market. So, I would say we're still, in a seller's market environment in Tigard, but buyers are gaining some leverage, gaining some ground, and are able to get some a little bit better pricing and terms than where they were before. And certainly price reductions are kind of coming into effect that is affecting this number here as well. So hope this weekly update has been helpful and informative for you. If so, always appreciate any likes, comments, and shares that you have. Watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow along on my channel. It's a great way for you to stay updated on what's happening in your local market. As always, if I can answer any questions or be of any help, feel free to reach out. My number is 503-680-2065. And as always, I really appreciate you watching. Hope you have an awesome day and week, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks.